everyone, welcome back to another art lesson with Mackie. Today we're going to be kind of working on a one of my like lollipop kind of style landscapes with a little cute monster or a monster of your choice. So I kind of have some different head shapes and stuff that you could think about and use, eye shapes, nose, and a piece of paper. So getting started, the first thing I always tell you, write your name on your paper. I'm going to do mine in the landscape style instead of like a portrait style. And so getting started, get to choose your head shape. I chose kind of an ovally shape. I think I'm going to do just a slightly different shape, more like a kind of a Hershey kiss shape. Then I'm going to get started with different things like my eye. Now you could have two eyes. That is a choice that you would have. And definitely can create your own monster mouth. Now, if you want to have different kind of style hair, you could have it so that your hair comes up. My other one, I have kind of like a city-like hair. And I'm going to use kind of like some layers of ribbon kind of looking. I think I'm going to put a couple too that are going to come across the forehead here. So the great thing is when you start with pencil, you can always go back and erase and adjust if you want. So I think I have a pretty good style. Now, for my body, I actually use just kind of a set of legs. You could just have some legs coming down. If you want them right next to each other, you can just use the middle line for both. And I use some kind of stringy arms. It is winter out here. So I am going to use some gloves. I think I'm going to put on some boots actually. So top of my boots are going to kind of wrap around. Some lines down. A little bit thicker line down there. And then I'll just go around and make some kind of chunky boots. If you want, I even could add some straps. Now, these are some choices I made. If you want to choose, you can make them go down a little bit lower. You could have socks on there. And remember, at any point, if you want to follow along and draw along, you can always pause the video and go back and make adjustments. Now, I think today I'm going to do some zigzags. So kind of getting started with my monster. I designed out my monster. I have my boots. Now I'm going to go into the background. So a horizon line is where the ground meets the sky. It also could be like a hill mark if it was to go up. It could be multiple different levels. So you could definitely have things like that where it splits off. I started to kind of put in some of those, what I call lollipop like trees. They kind of have concentric circles, a circle inside of a circle, and they're getting bigger. And then I can put some designs in when I get to my marker. And I also like using my triangle trees that kind of sway this way and that way. So there's lots of things you guys could add into here to go along with the theme. Repeating lines, repeating different shapes, and then adding in shapes inside of here will definitely add some interest into your actual artwork. Another one of those. And then in the background, you can have a sun or a moon. I put a sun in my last one, kind of coming off of the side. I think maybe I'll do a sun again, but maybe have it come from behind here. That way. So when my lines go behind, it stops at whatever object it hits, and then it keeps going. So. Now, once you get your initial stuff done, you can put back in, you could put in some hatching or cross hatching, but I think I'm actually going to do some of that with my actual marker. So once you get that done, you could go back in and you can trace over your lines, make your name. But in my my lollipop tree here, you could put things in like stippling, and stippling is using dots. If you use them closer together, it makes it look darker, and as you go into the other areas, it can get lighter. It can give some texture sometimes. You could use hatching marks. Hatching marks are little lines that are usually kind of next to each other. I'm going to use them in the next layer here. And you can use things like cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is when you use lines and then you have some that go back and cross over. So it can give some different effects onto your artwork. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fast forward some of this of the tracing and the cross-hatching hatching, and then I will come back and talk about the coloring. So once you have everything traced and go back and erase. Erasing kind of helps in case you had any extra pencil or unless you missed a line. And when you miss a line, then you'll notice and you can go back and trace over it. But then it gives it a little more crispness. Then you can go back and you can use colored pencils or you can use crayons and just kind of give a little bit of color, but give kind of an outline where you can go back and you can paint. And it will make it just so that you can have a little bit details, but have some of those fun colors also. And so I'm gonna mix up and just use a couple of varieties of colors on my hair and a couple other lines before I go back and paint. So this will again give it some of that wax, and it will resist some of the watercolor. So it will keep it in some areas. But it's also like if you wanted to, use the arms as an example, like these are really thin and you want to try to paint them, if you use a colored pencil or a crayon, it will keep the color you want but in the area you want. So yes, I'm going to fast forward the next couple steps. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment in the comment area. Otherwise, I will take a picture of the final artwork when I get done. So once you get finished, let it dry, and then after you have it all dry, you can have a finished artwork. So there is creating a cute monster art. And I will finish up my other version that I had on YouTube, one of my shorts, and put it up there shortly. Have a good day, everyone.